Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Ms. Nausheen here with a new unit, Personal Status, your Islamic education teacher. And in this unit, we are going to study two lessons. Number one, family in Islam, and number two, family relations. So let's go through the objectives first. And as you know, the title is about the family role in Islam, or the family view or concept in Islam. So, by the end of the lesson, you will be able to comprehend the concept of family in Islam. You will be able to conclude that the family is an innate need for the human beings, and you will be able to explain the roles of family in a society. You will be able to realize the importance of the roles that family plays in a society. You will be able to respect the role which a family offers to its members. As you know, Islam sets certain rules for establishing Muslim family because it is a foundation in building an effective Muslim society. The concept of family has its laws that are to be followed and taken care of. A family come into existence when by marriage happen between a man and a woman, and that results in us children. The family is, according to Allah Almighty, is the first unit of of a society. It establishes relevant relation with the ancestors of the spouses, where you have extended family like grandfather, grandmothers, as well as members like sisters, brothers, in addition to kinship like grandchildren, uncles, paternal aunts, maternal uncle, maternal aunts, and their children, and all of these relationships has their own value and respect, and a relationship of harmony in between them. So, what is a family? The family includes your, immediate family and extended family. Family concept includes small family which consists of husband, wife, and children. This is called a small family. Then your extended family is, your immediate family, small family, or your immediate family. And then your extended family consists of parents, children, grandparents, uncle, aunts, your cousins. Those comes in your extended family. What is, Allah Almighty is saying regarding that? Allah Almighty based family relationship on marriage to maintain the chastity and integrity of society. Family is, built when a man and woman engage in a relationship of marriage, and outside of this marriage, if somebody related is engaged in a and other relationship without marriage, then this family will not be able to be built, because family, a base of family or structure is marriage. So Allah is saying all of things that we created. I think this is a mistake here, because this yeah this verse is actually covered by the Arabic verse, the English translation. So when Allah says that we created mates for you, by your own kind, from which you feel tranquility and peace. You receive peace and tranquility by them. This is the verse of Quran which talks about that Allah has created men for men, women and for women, when a man and a woman for each other. So when they are bind together, they are bound when they come together and establish the relationship of marriage. They establish a family which will satisfy not their only their needs, but it will also bring peace and tranquility and structure in their life. This relationship is lifelong and more than the biological needs of the human beings. Allah wants this unit to be strengthened, as it is a building block of a community. So this is the building block of a community. If the families will not be able to build or disintegrate in a society, society has a tremendous setback, or if society has this, harm, will have a severe harm if this institution of family will not function properly, or will disintegrate, or will be no more. That's why Allah has prohibited the fornication and prohibited the extramarital affairs, because to preserve this structure of marriage, to preserve humanity, and their psychological, emotional and physical well-being. Allah Almighty says, "It is He who created you from one soul and created from it its mate." This is the verse I was talking about, that He might dwell in security with her. In Surah Al Araf, verse number 189. The role of family in Islam, innate role, the natural role, it includes giving birth, nursing, breastfeeding the child, protecting the child, nurturing the child, bringing the child on Islamic ethics, and instilling in child, feeding the child with the Islamic morals and ethics. Allah Almighty guides us through this His verse. Mothers may breastfeed their children to complete year for whoever wishes to complete the nursing period. So the nursing period for mothers are for 2 years, you know, where they have to breastfeed the child for the development of child, for the best. Spiritual role, through making family feel safe and stable, developing self-confidence, your spirituality or your emotional or, and mental abilities, capabilities are built by the spiritual understanding and brought up you have. While you'll gain self-confidence, you feel safe, stable, you're wise. Intellectually, you are capable of understanding, giving every individual the feeling of being valuable and important in the family, where children live in tranquility without stress or worry. So the family provides you that healthy upbringing, where your emotions are safeguarded, where your spiritual upbringing, you will have uplifted feeling of confidence and feeling of the peace and tranquility and happiness, and without stress or worry, without otherwise if this family relationship will break, you will have the opposite of all these things. So educational role is family gives you the first platform that a child interact with his family when he is born, and he says the first human beings he comes into interaction is his mother and his father. So a father and mother, his or her mother and father is and plays an influential role in upbringing the child. When he is small, he adopts the habits and norms and you know from his environment, from his family. He copies, he imitates. Family role is not only restricted to provide material matters like food, water, clothes, and medicine, but it also includes educating them by instilling in them Islamic ethics like seasonships, honorable deeds, good morals, etiquettes, and social cultures that sustain their life, to motivate them to fulfill their roles in life. Family helps you in building a citizen and building a human being which is full of confidence, who is who will play a very positive role in a society, who will be a pillar of a societal development of his country. So its role is actually building the personality of a child, building a child character, and giving him enough education to sustain, to you know to be able to combat the challenges, to be able to fight the challenges in this life, and to be the best version of himself, while contributing his role in the society. The society, along with parents, should bring a child, teaching them that Islam is the religion of innateness, that orders to protect family structure, help human being to succeed in this life, and prevents all causes of corruption. There is a hadith of the Holy Prophet where the Holy Prophet said the best thing a father can give his children is education. And so this is how the and it is another hadith of the Holy Prophet where he said that education is obligatory. Getting educated or having education, learning is obligatory upon every child or every Muslim, male or female. And in another in another hadith, he also said Islam is all, say Islam hates jahiliyyah. Islam hates, abhor ignorance. And Islam loves wisdom and intellect and reasoning and education, which comes with education, and clear thinking and profound thinking. So Islam says that, another hadith of the Holy Prophet is that learn from cradle to grave. That means that education plays a vital role, that the day the baby is born in this world, and it's a baby born in a family, the family's role started to educate them, educate him or her, to educate the children. So learn from cradle, start learning from cradle, and up until you go in your grave, your learning should not stop. You whole life you will educate yourself and build, like education is an ocean and you have only a drop of it. So you strive to get more knowledge. So societies, because this knowledge will make you closer to Allah. Whenever you are, ignorant, you are far away from Allah. But when you are knowledgeable, you are heightened in piety also, and then you will realize you have the marfa, and Allah wants you to have the marfa of himself, of Allah Almighty. So marfa will come, your, the, what to say, realization or knowledge of the Almighty is come. Almighty Allah is come with no knowledge. The more you gain the knowledge, the more closer you'll get to the Allah Almighty. That's why when the science and biggest scientists of this world, when they're doing researches for centuries and for couple of years, and when they read Quran and they find something which is astonishing, which is actually because Quran is the book of Allah. Allah has mentioned that I have left nothing in this book. They come towards Islam and they accept Islam because they're no, because now they know, because they are educated. Now they have not, their minds are not confined. They have open minds to accept. So when you have education, and it is the basic role of a family to educate their child and to instill morals in, and because the school going age will come after 5 years or maybe after 4 years, but up until 4 years or 5 years, the child is in between the family. The societies along with parents should upbring a child, teaching them that Islam has the whole structure and it protects family system, helps human beings to succeed in this life, and prevents all causes of corruption. Parents should bring up their children on loving the homeland. Loving your homeland is the best thing. But if you love your family, you love your neighborhood. You love your neighborhood, you love your society. You love your society, you love your community. You love your community, you love your country. So this is how this whole web or channelize your positivity towards and then if you love your country, then you love the whole ummah of Muslims, and then you love the humanity as well. So, since this is a part of the faith, the Prophet gave us the best example to love our homeland. When we got out from, when he got out from Makkah, he was, sad, and he was looking towards it, and his eyes were full of tears. And he said, "I knew that you are the best of Allah's land, and the best and the most lovable one of Him. But I got out from you because your people enforced me to get out. And if they did not enforce me, I wouldn't have left you." So these words of these noble words of the Rasulullah, these precious words of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, are indicating that loving your country is not a bad thing, but it is, loyalty in another way, a faithfulness and loyalty to your own land. And you prevail, in you love and you work for the betterment of your country. So this he said that people enforced me to get out, but if they did not enforce me, I wouldn't have left Makkah. Makkah, he didn't want to leave Makkah. Family relationship. Now we'll see the family. What are the family relationships, and what we have to do? What is our duties? What is happening in this world today is everybody is asking and talking about their rights, but nobody consider about their duties. Well, if you'll consider your duties well, if you'll perform your duties well, your rights will be given to you. But first of all, we should be focusing on giving our duties to the best, on performing the best. duties. Consistency of a family depends on how much its members uphold the values that Islam calls for. The more religious the family is, the more morally, good or more beneficial for them are their children. The society, their children will benefit from the society. For children will benefit the society if they get good education at home. The more they abide by these values, Islamic values, they are attached to one another. Brotherhood, loving your parents, honoring your parents, and loving your siblings, respecting your parents. These all are the morals which are given to us by Islam, and these are the morals which start from the family. So, honoring parents. Parents is one of the most important principles of Islam. Islam has ordered children to honor and respect their parents. So the child should speak to his parents nicely and politely, and he should never raise his voice on them, interrupt them while speaking, oppose them, hesitate in meeting their needs, hurt them even by a single word of disrespect. So these all are the rules which are established for a child to honor the parents, because parents are the one. Even the Holy Prophet, you peace be upon him, when the Islam was prevailing and when the Islam was new and people were converting to Islam, and the companion was coming and whose parents were non-Muslims. So the Holy Prophet, when they asked them that what should we do, so the Holy Prophet replied to them that don't ever disrespectful towards your parents, or don't ever say to them anything, even they are non-Muslim, but they are your parents. Oh, this is how Islam teaches us to respect parents. Parents is one of the most important principles of Islam. Islam has ordered children to honor and respect parents. They should not raise voice on them, interrupt them while they are speaking, oppose their opinion, and or hesitate in meeting their needs, disobey them, hurt them with a word of disrespect. So living Islam in a family, like how a Islamic family should be. Make home a place for the family to worship Allah. Make your homes become lively during prayer time. Pray, try to pray congregational prayers. Also engage in frequent Quran recitation and remembrance of Allah. Askar. Keep Satan out of the house. Say the salutation, Assalamu alaikum, salutation, and while entering the house, Bismillah tawakkaltu ilallahi la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. These are some of the minor and small things which a person can do and which have the greater effects. Let respect, kindness, and trust rule a family's affair. Foster a culture of Islamic learning and knowledge. Avoid dispute and argumentation. Hold the trust of family members and their matters. Engage in Islamic learning sessions. Talk with your children. Teach them the stories of the Prophet, what they learned from them, and discuss Quranic stories with them. Discuss and be aware of matters of halal and haram, and discuss the Islamic rules, what the reasons behind those rules. Instill the love of Islamic literature and books. Make family decisions to mutual consultation. Don't neglect your children while you are making decisions. Try to involve them in decision making, and try to uh, instill in them to make them feel that they are honorable member of the family. Involve the family in critical decision problem solving. Avoid blame of staying focused on, especially in this the age where the parents are both working, they cannot give the family the times they need. Now this from the by this pandemic which is going on, now you have a lot of time, spend it with your family if you have less work. Obviously we are overworked sometimes. So fulfill responsibility towards other family members. Learn the rights of each of the family members. Fulfill the rights of others and don't take them for granted. Kindness to parents. Kindness to parents is very very important. In one hadith of the Holy Prophet, he said that the especially regarding mothers, he said that heaven lies at the feet of your mothers. So this is how, like, if you and a person came to Holy Prophet and he asked that I have both of my parents, mother and father, alive. Who should I have more? Who should I take more care of, or who should I service first? He said, mother. Then he asked again, then he said again mother. Then he said again mother. Three times he said mother. Then the fourth time he asked, he said father. So this is how the father and mother are, in the eyes of Islam. They have the heightened status. Allah Almighty has connected parents' right with His rights. See, and thanking them with thanking Him. If you'll thank your parents, even there is a reward. If you there's a hadith that talks about if you look with the love in your eyes towards your parents' face, then Allah will reward you tremendously. So it's a little act, but Allah is going to reward you even then because you were looking at them with love. So with His right and thanking them with thanking Him, Allah Almighty says, serve Allah and ascribe no partner to Him. Do good to your parents. Abdullah wa la tashriku bihi shay'an bil walidayna ihsana. Hadith emphasizing the obligation to honoring parents. There are several novel hadiths that emphasizes the obligation to honoring parents. Abdullah ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated, I asked the Prophet, peace be upon him, which of the deed is loved the most by Allah. He replied, Salat at its right time. I asked next. He replied, kindness to parents. I asked next. He said, jihad for the cause of Allah. See, the salat at the right time is the foremost thing that we are ordered by the Holy Prophet to do, and the second, the consecutive thing, this coming just after that, is kindness to parents. So children are obliged to take care of their parents, especially when they are old and in need. When they are old and in need, you especially, because all of your good work and life, good deeds can vanish in a minute or vanish in a second if you will leave your parents and when they are at old age, and they will be, heartbroken because of that. So all your good deeds Allah will not accept, and even if your mother will curse you or will send a bad will remember you, even if she is not cursing you, even if she has a pain in her heart, or your father has a pain in his heart, that you are not taking care of them, or you left them in the age which they needed you the most. So Allah will, what will you will have, you will lose this world and the hereafter as well. Children are obliged to take care of their parents, especially when they are old and in need. Thus, treat them with love, kindness, and respect. There are examples from the Holy Quran where the prophets showed how they respected their parents. And what is respecting and honoring parents? It's if one of them or both of them attain old age in your life, say not to them a word of disrespect in Surah Asra, verse number 23. Nor shout at them, but address them with respect. Respect between siblings. Siblings are your little brothers and sisters. Islam I is missing, so he emphasizes the importance of the relationship among the members of the family. It orders Muslims to treat their brothers and sisters with respect and understanding. So you love your brother and sister and they will respect you. And because it's the two-way process. Kins are the relatives from paternal and maternal sides by whom Allah Almighty means when He says, but kindred by blood are nearer to one another. So your first, what to say, your first affection, or your first, the good relation, or sympathy, or whatever feelings of humbleness you have or kindness you have are actually diverted towards should be diverted towards your family members first, and maybe they are your immediate or extended family. If they are in need, you have to help them in whatever difficulty they have, and within the boundaries of Allah Almighty, which as Allah Almighty sets you, you should help them in whatever problems they are going through. Kins and relatives are, relatives have rights and duties which believers must fulfill to gain Allah's acceptance. Allah Almighty has promised great rewards in this world and the hereafter for fulfilling relatives' rights. As Allah Almighty says, and give to the kinship man his due. These are, when You have your extended family, even and when you don't have your your immediate family, and your extended family is there, they will inherit from you also. So this is how Allah has allocated the rights to them. The fulfillment of rights and duties of the relatives the Muslim should spend on who is needy among his relations, respect the elderly, and be kind to the young, visit the patient, and comfort them while during their loss. If someone has died, especially you should go, and especially in the time of difficulty, you should not leave your relatives alone. Stay connected with your relatives even if they cut the relations with you. Be good to them even if they are bad to him. Him means Muslim. Check on them, ignore their mistakes, and forgive them if they have done anything wrong to you, as well as make sure to invite them on different occasions such as feast, family meetings, gatherings, so you'll have harmony and good relation with you prevail, and the peace will prevail in the family, and the good relationship, respect and honor. The family relationships are based on love and mutual respect and trust. This happens when the parents apply the following hadith of the messenger as a role model. It was narrated from Ibn Abbas that the Prophet said, "The best among you is he who is the most kind to his family, and I am the kindest among you to my family." So the Holy Prophet, he respected each and every member of his family, especially he used to take advice from his wife on matters, and he used to, whenever his daughter used to come, he respected them. He respected his grandchildren. He loved his grandchildren. When his daughter used to come, he would used to stand up, in her honor, and as well he took care of his wives as well on the occasion of after in afternoon he used to visit the wives, and he asked about if they need anything. These are the thing we should you know have we should take lesson from the sunnah of the Holy Prophet, from his seerah. And okay, now some significances of the honored hadith. The concept of family is broadened to include husband, wife, children, parent, and even blood ties. Number two, the best of you refers to that the best one of Muslim is the one who devotes himself or herself to their family. I am the best of you to my family means the best of you who devotes himself herself to their family. I am the best in that. Regarding religion and life matters, follow me as I do not command you what I do not practice. So Rasulullah's life is the practical of Holy Quran, the demonstration of Holy Quran. Example from the life of the Holy Prophet: being kind to his parents. It was known that he visited his mother's grave. He was very kind to his parents by suckling. It was narrated that the Prophet was sitting one day when his father by suckling came. He spread out his cloak, his abba, to let him sit on it. When his mother by suckling Halima Sadia came to him, so he spread out the other side of the cloak. Again his brother by suckling came, and the messenger stood for him and let him sit before him. So this is how messengers, um, you know, conduct was with the relatives, even though they were only parents by suckling and brothers by suckling. So if the suckling brother and mother parents are to be respected this much, then imagine your real mother and father. The respect you should have for them is how much heightened. Caring for his children. The Prophet was very gentle with children. When his daughter Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her, would visit him, he would take her by hand, kiss her, and welcome her in his majlis. And he used to stand up also. In history books, we find that whenever she used to enter on Rasulullah, on the room, and Rasulullah, the Prophet, Holy Prophet, used to stand up in her honor. And at the same time, he treated his grandchildren equally, and he let them sit in his lap. Okay, his relationship with his uncles and relatives. He treated his uncle Al Abbas ibn Abbas and as his own father. caring for his women and asking about them as he used to visit them after Asr prayer to provide their needs. A man asked Aisha, what did the Prophet do in his house? She replied, he sewed his clothes, mended his sandals. He used to do all his work without, without asking any of his wives to do these personal works for him, personal things. He sewed his clothes, mended his sandals, and worked as any man work in his house. So Allah Almighty said, and because of his love towards his family, he wanted his family to and set an examples for the Muslim society, Allah and for the whole humanity. Allah Almighty said, because the Holy Prophet has come for the whole humanity, not for the Muslims only. Allah Almighty said, and for his signs is that he created for you from yourself mates that you may find tranquility in them, and he placed between you affection and mercy. This we have already studied. Indeed, in that are signs for the people who give thought. Indeed, in that are the signs for the people who are men of understanding, who knows that why Allah has set these boundaries and set this relationship. What is the purpose behind? What is the reason behind that? It is a relation of amity, mercy, mutual respect, feeling serenity, tranquility, peace, peace of mind, peace of heart. This respect cannot be achieved by unless each one of them is committed to his duties and where they are aware of their rights. The husband and wife both should be taking care of each other, and both are performing their duties to the best way possible, the best way by as Allah Almighty has ordered them, has ordered them. The parents relationship between parents and then the parents have the responsibility to fulfill the needs and rights of their children. This includes biological, educational, psychological, and social. Some of these rights are, what are these rights which we have to give to our children, which we take care of? Right to life, starting from the state of embryo to birth onwards, child right to live will be fulfilled. Right to nursing, mothers may breastfeed their children 2 complete years. Right to nursing is that 2 complete years Allah has ordered the mothers to breastfeed. And right to life means that you cannot just go and abortion is haram in Islam, and there are many penalties on different stages. Relationship between or kuffara, expiation. Relation between parents and children, right to health, emotional and psychological care. This is the role of a family to take care of their health, physical health, emotional health, and psychological health as well. Islam urges families to provide the means of upbringing a healthy child by taking care of his health, emotional, and psychological needs. Right to Islamic education. Islamic education right is the foremost right that to teach them Quran, how to read Quran, especially from the young age. It is obligatory. And because in Allah's eyes, there is a hadith that if a person does not know how to read Quran, he is in Allah's eyes is illiterate. Families have to bring their children as good practicing Muslims by following Allah's rules, where they should be taught to read Quran, perform Salah, and other acts followed with the Islamic upbringing. Right to education, general education, which is also Islamic education, because these maths and these all sciences were actually the subjects which Islamic scholars Al Razi or Khawarizmi and these all big names were actually the inventors of these subjects. So if somebody thinks that only Islamic education is the education, no, education is necessary. All of the subjects which are there, which are taught by the Islamic scholars and which is taken by the other nations to get benefit from, and they are working on them since then. So these are all our Muslims knowledge and Muslims subjects and Muslims really subjects and Muslims uh, so these all should be studied as well. The child has a right to get education from early ages. Parents have to provide the and encourage their students to pursue their education. It is stated in Luqman's commands. And Luqman is the wise, and wisdom is associated with Luqman and the Suleiman, where Luqman uh, 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 what to say? advised his son that, O son, use part of your days, nights, and hours to search for knowledge. You will not find a loss like not seeking knowledge. So there is not nothing bigger than a loss of not seeking knowledge, because each and every time is precious, and Allah will ask on the day of judgment about the time. That there's a hadith of the Holy Prophet that the feet of the man will not move until he will answer on the day of judgment about five things. And among these five things are that what is how did you spend your time, and about your knowledge, what knowledge you acquired and how you spent it. So this is obligatory. Many hadith are there which emphasizes the knowledge and right of education, which is the foremost right, which is being emphasized so many times. And even when the war prisoners were presented before the Holy Prophet, he said to those prisoners, those prisoners were Jews and the other religions, that you I will set you free if you just teach the Muslims to read and write. So this is how the Holy Prophet wanted the Muslim Ummah to excel in knowledge. And the honored messenger is our role model and example of behavior in his relation with members and others who will deal with. So would we learn his teaching, oblige to his behavior, and copy his behavior, try to imitate his behavior, follow him, to get honor of reading his sublime morals. Oh, this is the teachings of Rasulullah. I've taught. I have given you many hadiths, hadith of the Rasulullah. I have read many hadiths and of Rasulullah for you, and given you examples of many hadith. And one is that which that learn from cradle to grave, and Rasulullah emphasized the low role of education and start from the family, because a child is born in a family. And you know he the first interaction he is with his family, and if he'll get proper care from that's why the children with the broken families have multiple personality disorders, they have issues, they are psychologically not very well, because the fabric of the family is broken. So we should just especially in this age, the parents should realize that marriage is a sacred bond, and if they are going to disintegrate the marriage, then what will be the effect on the children if the children are involved. So for the sake of the children, they should be patient, and they should be forgiving each other, and they should be taking care of the children the best way possible, because this is a right which has been allocated by Allah Almighty. Even uh, the hadith which tells that the best thing a father can give his children is the education. And this is a thing that we need to remember from the life of our Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. The best of the examples are set by him, has been set by him. We should follow him. Thank you for being with me. Allah fi aman.